Hello everybody, welcome to another great episode of Distilled, Brewed, and Reviewed. My name is John, and you have now entered my world famous sipping den, where I do everything that has anything to do with alcohol and coffee. And I have luckily broken the code to YouTube's playlist and mastered it. Therefore, everything I do, and there's a lot of categories I do, are broken down into categories and subcategories in such a way that it makes it easy and fun to go through them and look at them. I challenge you to do it. I also ask for a sub, comment, thumbs up, anything you can do. Help the analytics. Keep me highly motivated and truly dedicated. All right, now today, special. A lot of stuff going on today. All right, this Octomore 13.1. Well, I saw this and I wanted it. And I hadn't picked it up because it's expensive. It's a couple $100. And then a friend of mine, Eric Toller, comes in, says, "Hey, I got something for you." Gives me 2 samples of the Octomore 13.1. So I want to see in the comments a thank you to Eric. Because Eric Toller, or Toller, depending on what part of the country you're from, I say Toller, is a hell of a guy. Octomore 13.1 is youthful and dynamic as it is super heavily peated. Well, as its super heavily peated predecessors. Distilled patiently from the 2015 harvest of 100% Scottish mainland barley. This single malt is malted to a stratospheric 137.3 parts per million and matured in high quality American oak casks. Yeah. Well, what else? All Octomore 0.1 editions are distilled from 100% Scottish barley. They are primarily aged only in ex-American oak in varying percentages of either ex-bourbon or ex-Tennessee whiskey casks. Acting as the backbone of each new series, Octomore 0.1 releases demonstrate the raw character of the clean Octomore spirit, balanced with the modest ex-American whiskey influence, and offer a necessary comparison from which the other expression alternates. After 5 aged years in first fill, ex-American oak casks, our Head Distiller has offered a unique twist to this 13.1, having gathered and recast the spirit in 2021 into yet more fresh first fill ex-American oak casks, right? You had the bourbon, then you have the American whiskey, or the Tennessee whiskey. This final injection of flavor taken from the interaction between the spirit and the oak offers additional flavors of dark toffee, coconut, and vanilla. This single malt is a testament to the trust of our head distiller, Adam Hannett, has in the quality of his ingredients. Without more than patience and an understanding of how the flavors will evolve, this single malt perfectly personifies the courage of Octomore as a concept. You should be ready to have me taste this now, because I'm sure as hell ready to taste it. Well, one more thing. You got to know what you're doing. You spend a couple $100 on a whiskey. It deserves some dissection. Barley provenance, 100% Scottish grown concerto barley. See, malting, super heavily peated. Distillation distilled in 2016 from the 2015 harvest, aged 5 years. Maturation profile, full-term maturation in first fill bourbon barrels. Phenol level, 137.3 parts per million. Strength, 59.2. ABV, wow. 118.4. I didn't realize that. No wonder it's so expensive. All right, 2 barrels. Cask strength. And here we go. He gave me 2 of these. 2 of these. One for the show and one to dry. I got a little hack I'm going to do for you. I'm going to pour the slightest, especially something that's real peated like that, the slightest little amount in there. And I'm going to coat this whole glass till basically That juice is almost gone. All right. All right. So now the whole glass has been coated. Now we're going to smell it. All right. Yeah. Well, shocker. It's smoky. It's also got a little bit of iodine. It's got a little Band-Aid. I know that doesn't sound good. But it also has, beneath all that smoke, a sweet fruitiness coming through all that smoke. And even a meatiness reminding me of a delicious barbecue. Let's get into the taste. I'm going to do an acclimation sip, and I'm going to do the whole damn thing. All right. That little hack of rolling it just a little bit of brown till it's almost gone, coating the whole glass and then smelling it. You'll never get a smell like that. I mean, it's just a great way to do it. And then with an acclimation sip, you're getting the full smell and the full taste. Let me say this, that's just acclimation sip. For someone who's used to doing reviews or does a lot of reviews and is used to high proof cask strengths, smoky scotches, I try and bear in mind that there's different levels of people watching this, so that someone who has the experience I do with tasting all these things is going to perceive something one way, and someone who maybe's never had it before, isn't into the heavily peated or smoked at this point, is going to perceive it another way. So I kind of try and explain through that as best I can. Let me do one for flavor. That was an acclimation sip. So, original in the mouth. It is buttery. It is sweet fruit, just underlined as if it would be peach, pear, really ripe, really sweet at first. Cuts right through the smoke. The after taste that I'm tasting now, after I get that sweet fruit, is oak, smoke, iodine, fighting the sweetness. The sweetness fades kind of quickly, and you get that smoke coating the tongue, but not, for me, not overbearing. They talked about it being so smoky. The iodine, the wood flavor, the oak, and of course the things that brings, right? It brings out vanilla, does bring out some coconut, different things that wood will bring out, different sugars from, it's been basically bourbon, Tennessee whiskey, almost the same thing. So those influences of the sugars, of the caramels, now it smells different, see? Now that iodine, Band-Aid-y smell is fading a little bit. That's a good scotch right there, boy. Man, I love that sweetness. It's fantastic. Little water. Little water. Hey, Eric, man, did me justice, brother. Kind of brought out the bourbons. I'm smelling the bourbon influence big time with the water. Really brought out the bourbon characteristics with the water. So sweet. Maybe I'm just used to it, but the smokiness seems to be taking a back seat to that sweetness, to that bourbon influence, to the fruit, to the floral. Here it comes on the finish. A little bit of iodine, a little bit of Band-Aid, a lot of smoke, all mixed in and intermingled. So it's expensive. And if you're not used to bourbon, used to scotches, heavily peated Speyside type, I probably wouldn't get this to start off. You might be overwhelmed. You may have some flavors you're just not used to. I think you can build up to this a little bit. But if you're into it, like I am, and all the different scotches, I don't meet too many I've never liked, then this is just another one to add to your collection, to add to your brain that you've tasted it, to add to your palate, because it is exceptional. Yeah. That's just a good sipper, man. That's just a good thing to sip here and sipping them. And thanks to my man Eric, I've got another one to do that with. All right, buddy, I appreciate that. I hope you all enjoyed this. Don't forget to sub, all right? Sub for me. Sub for Eric. Sub for the whole human race. The human race depends on it.